Welcome to the California Dream. My name is Darren Brown, and this is a channel where we discuss California, America, and specifically why California needs to end its toxic, abusive relationship with America. So this is not a new channel. You can go back and listen to some of my old episodes and interviews that I've done. I've taken a break for about a year or two from any new podcast episodes or anything new on the channel, mostly for personal reasons. But I think this might be a good time to start back up with some content, especially given, recent events. Instead of having a longer form episode of 15, 20, 30 minutes like I had before, I'm going to be trying to make some really shorter segments that are more easily digestible. And hopefully then I can make them more frequently, more often. So what do I want to talk about today on this first new episode? What I want to start with today is the idea that certainly most liberals and many lefties really have not wrapped their minds around the change that has occurred and the new world that we're in right now. Most media, whether it's cable news or social media or newspapers, they're still talking about events and what's going on under the old framework. In other words, they're still trying to understand what is going on based on old norms, old customs, old ways of thinking, old ways of taking in information. And that is just not going to cut it. What people need to wrap their minds around is that with Trump in office now, with Republicans controlling both branches of Congress, and with the Supreme Court and the federal courts that we have a federal government that is effectively being run by a white-collar, organized crime syndicate. Because that is what Trump is in charge of. His family, going back generations, for many, many years, has effectively run itself as an organized crime ring. It's a white-collar organized crime ring. So, it's not people going around and saying, oh, that's a nice business you have over there. It's a shame if something would happen to it. But it's a crime ring nonetheless. It's a crime ring that's run by lawyers and lawsuits and cheating and stiffing people and paying people off and so on. So it's at the white collar level. So that is the mindset that you need to get into. You need to stop thinking of the federal government as being anything close to something that works in the public good. Anywhere close to something that works to serve you or to provide for you. That's not what the purpose of it is. The purpose of the federal government now is to extract as much wealth from the rest of the country as it can for a small group of people, and to destroy and decimate any institutions that work for the public good. This is not something that can be fixed. This is not something that can be reformed. You don't fix an organized crime ring. You don't reform an organized crime ring. If you had a business and you had to deal with an organized crime ring, you wouldn't say, well, let's just call them over and sit down and have a conversation and discussion. We can work some things out. I think we can fix this. I think we can reform this and come to some agreement. No, you realize you don't fix or reform them. What you do is you do everything you can to protect yourself against them, and you realize that you are on your own, that you have to take care of yourself, you have to provide for your own needs, and no one else is going to do it for you. Because that is the state we are going to be in very soon, very, very soon. We are going to have a government that soon is going to be unable or unwilling to carry out even the most basic functions that people expect governments to carry out. So what are the most basic functions of government? 1, providing material security. Well, you're not going to be able to count on that because you're not even going to be able to count on the fact that your food's not going to poison you. that your water is going to be clean, that you're not going to be taken advantage of by financial institutions, that you're going to have even the most minimal protections from hazards at work, that you're going to have the most minimal rights in the workplace. All of that is going to be gone, and you're not going to be able to count on it, let alone any type of minimal social safety net. Number two, another basic function of government is providing a somewhat reasonably fair and functioning legal system, a system that can adjudicate claims fairly and that can at least aspire to some semblance of justice where everyone is treated equally under the law. Now, we've never really had that in our country, but we've always aspired to it. We've always tried to aim in that direction. That is not even going to be a goal now. The purpose of the legal system now is going to be to protect those in charge of the regime and to weaponize it against anyone who stands up to them or opposes them. Number three, regulating a functioning economy. Trump has already signaled many policies that are going to be very detrimental to the economy. And what we're going to see is instability. The economic system, the financial system, is not going to be stable or predictable or functional. And lastly, number four, protecting from external threats and integrating the state into the wider international community. This administration is effectively tearing up all our old alliances. There are going to be people in the administration who are closely aligned with other authoritarian regimes around the world. This is a huge national security risk, and this will undercut our ability to work with other countries, to have any kind of leverage with other countries, to cooperate with other countries, to get the policies that we want to see enacted. So that's the reality you have to get your mind into. We can't save the country because very soon there's not going to be a country left to save. We have to stop trying to fix America. One more election, one more inspirational leader. It's not possible to fix because very soon there's not going to be anything left to fix. It's just not going to be there. So Californians need to realize real soon that we're on our own. Ain't nobody going to help us out. And we better realize that sooner than later. Okay, I said I would keep this short, so I'm going to hold to that promise. I will see you again later.